Hi, my name is Alex Trumbull, and I'm recording this to tell all of you guys about my spring internship at the University of Virginia. My supervisors were Kelly Pugh, Keith Thompson, Kyle Murray, and Ashley Duzin. Kelly is the head athletic trainer for football at UVA. I worked directly under Keith, who also works exclusively football. And Kyle and Ashley work football and also other sports. Kyle works with cheerleading, and Ashley works with women's golf. The athletic training facility for football is located in the McHugh Center. A picture of that facility is the upper left-hand picture in this slide. It also caters to cheerleading, golf, and tennis. The McHugh Center also houses football's gym and their locker rooms, and the upper right-hand corner, that picture shows the hot tub, cold pool, and whoever took that picture is standing on the underwater treadmill in the McHugh Center, directly adjacent to the athletic training facility. So we have the ATF and the wet room side by side in McHugh. The team practiced almost exclusively in the George Walsh indoor field, which is the pictured in the lower right-hand corner. It is heated, which is nice in Charlottesville winter. And there's a full turf field inside the center and right outside, as shown in the picture. The other main athletic training facility on UVA's campus is called Training Grounds. It catered to all of the Olympic sports and the physicians that work with UVA. The physicians are full-time and are there anytime an athlete needs them. So it's very convenient to be able to send your athlete just a short walk over to Training Grounds when something's wrong. When I first arrived at UVA, working with football, they told me that after the season they had 16 surgeries, and all of those were just recently released. So 2 weeks before I arrived at UVA, 16 athletes underwent surgery. I saw 9 rotator cuffs, 2 ACLs, 3 foot/ankle surgeries, 1 Achilles reattachment, and we had a low back patient who had L4 and L5 disc herniations. As far as acute injuries that I saw during my time at UVA, most of them were hamstrings. I saw 2 PCLs, 2 lacerated fingers, and a couple concussions that I actually got to run the athletes through their concussion protocols, which was pretty cool. I also saw recovering athletes who were recovering from sicknesses like mono. When I arrived, they were just getting back into light jogging. I believe they'd been out of physical exercise for 6 weeks at that point. The scariest and most intense thing that happened at UVA was probably the sickle cell event that occurred with one of our athletes. His O2 levels reached below 72%, and so our EMS was called, and he was transferred over to UVA's hospital, where he stayed for over 12 hours. It was a very scary thing, but he recovered completely and was back at practice, or was on his way to return to practice. It was a great experience. I really enjoyed being at UVA. It was very different from anything that I had ever experienced before, and I think that's a very good thing. I think you should be able to get out of your comfort zone. If I had to do it all again, I definitely would. like I said, I think it was a great experience. Any advice that I have, I think you should keep an open mind when you're going into a new place and working with new people. Ask questions. Ask all the questions in the world. We, as in athletic training in general, as a profession, love to educate, and we love to share our knowledge, especially things that we're passionate about. So the more questions you ask, the more respect you'll get. And the more respect I think you'll give when you hear the answer to the questions that you ask. I think you should have confidence going into an internship. Longwood has prepared you. They have. Even if it feels like they haven't, they have. I promise. Like, even if you feel like you don't know anything, I promise you do. Especially if somebody, an athlete or preceptor, asks you a question on the fly and you're like, I don't know the answer to that. Sit back for a second and think about it. I'm sure you do. Just need to calm down and have confidence in yourself that you know what you're doing. Research. I'm sure Dr. Stokes will love this, but my time at UVA definitely showed me the value in research. If my preceptor Keith or any of the other ATCs didn't have the answer to my question right away or didn't have the time to explain it, they'd hand me a book and they'd be like, look it up. And I was like, oh, that's right. I can do that. I'll just do that then. Also, be open. Be open to criticism and be open to praise. They're not going to tell you you're doing a good job if you're not. The preceptors and the other ATCs aren't there to coddle you. They're there to teach you. So be open to the praise and accept it. And then also, if they have a criticism or they're criticizing you, take it as for its word. If you're doing something wrong, then stop doing it. And accept that they're right, you're wrong, and move on and learn from it. There's no reason to get upset when somebody criticizes something you did or somebody tells you you're doing something wrong. Just accept it and move on, because they're not trying to hurt your feelings. They're just trying to teach you. It's not a hostile environment. There's no need to get up in arms about it. COVID-19 affected my internship by ending it. My internship ended after March 13th, which was the Friday of UVA's spring break, and I was told not to come back. So I had to go about a month later to move myself out of my UVA apartment and back home. COVID-19 has affected my life in that I am now once again living with my parents, which is great. Love them, but it's also nice to have freedom, which I have less of with them, for sure. But, you know. And affecting my BOC plans by putting a big question mark over the test, because they canceled March-April exams, and I have a feeling that May-June exams will either be canceled or pushed back. So I don't really know when I'm gonna take the BOC, which is a scary thought. As far as what's next, I plan on taking the BOC as soon as possible. I'll probably end up back in Newport News, staying close to my parents, also because I don't have any money, so I hope they'll put up with me until I do. And then getting a master's degree. Not sure in what yet. That's still another large question, but I'm not thinking about that until I pass the BOC. So, yeah. I really wish I could have finished out my internship. I missed spring ball, which was huge. And I missed full contact practices. And I wish I think I would have learned more than I did. Not that I didn't have a great experience, I just think there would have been more opportunities, especially eval opportunities during full padded practices near the end. I hope everyone is staying safe and staying healthy, and hopefully I will see you all October 10th when I walk. Maybe.